What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 41 of Diggity, a video game podcast. I'm your host, Jeff James. As always, with me is the notorious, the glorious, the luscious of the most luscious Brody Faltz. How are you, my friend?
I'm cold,
Yeah,
man.
dude. Oh my gosh. For those who don't know, we live in Indiana, and it's frigid here today. What was it? It was like minus.
It was
What matters
like
is a wind chill, right?
It was negative 12 with a wind chill of up to negative 40, which is the coldest it's
so
been
bad.
here in 40 years. So
Yeah, it's a good time.
setting records, man. Since the blizzard of 78, that's the coldest it's been.
I went to Walmart today, and it was even more miserable than usual. So
Really?
Yeah, I had to get stuff for the Super Bowl party, man.
Ah,
So it was
more
a little
miserable.
crazy.
I mean, there couldn't have been anybody there.
Oh my god, dude! I felt so bad starting my car. Like I was clicking. Oh god, I heard.
You could just hear it
It
scream
was like
a little bit at you. It's
seriously, it was like no. And then it was like, it was terrible. I was like, I'm so sorry. My bad.
My poor Jeep was doing the same thing. It's like, no.
Did you have to like crank it a couple? Like, did you have to hold it and crank it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I had to hold it and crank
God.
it, but it wasn't I didn't have to like try it a couple times or anything.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
neither
I
did
mean,
I.
it started
It
first
just sounded
try,
like
but
shit. It was bad.
it did not like it at all.
No. You know what you can like, though? Us on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Diggity Podcast. Always have to just smoothly segue into that, my friend.
I love your segues. They're fantastic.
Absolutely. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diggity Gaming. There's a video version of the podcast. If you've never seen our ugly faces, because you just listen to the audio podcast, please take a look at it. They're ugly. They're great. Subscribe to our podcast, the audio version, on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, wherever you listen, we are there. And today's podcast, because we have to make money, is brought to you by Audible. You can get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial by heading on over to audibletrial.com/diggity and get access to over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle, or your MP3 player. So head on over to audibletrial.com/diggity. Thank you to Audible for sponsoring this week and every week, because it's our only sponsor right now. We're transparent here. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hit us up with Diggity deals.
So our first Diggity deal for the week is an Xbox One X 1 terabyte console, and a NBA 2K19 bundle for $399 at Amazon, and Assassin's Creed Origins, a Xbox One digital download from the Xbox Store for $19.80, which pisses me right off. So I just bought that game a little bit ago, so that sucks. But it's good for you.
Yeah,
So
it's great for me. It's great for people who haven't bought it. That's the power of waiting out, you know? Hey, cool. Awesome. Xbox games with gold for the month of February were announced. So for Xbox One, you've got Super Bomberman R and Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. We don't have exact dates for these yet. We'll update that when
it's
when you have
usually
those. It's like the first
Super
2
Bomberman will be there from the 1st to the 15th.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah. It's like split right in half.
Yeah.
And then-
Or sorry, I guess it actually goes the 1st to the 30th, but
yeah.
Bloodstain will come in on the 15th.
Second, yeah.
Right.
So Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is the other one. Xbox 360 backwards compatible games that are coming for games with gold for the month of February are Assassin's Creed Rogue and Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Kind of a lackluster month in my opinion, but hey, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You want to
You know
handle
who is not having a lackluster month?
PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Hit us
So for PlayStation, the PlayStation Plus games that you get for the month of February, we're getting For Honor on PS4 and Hitman: The Complete First Season, which For Honor was free on Xbox, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't too long ago.
November or something like that.
Yeah, and we're both extremely not fond of that game.
No.
I was gonna. Yeah. Anyway, on PlayStation 3, you got Drive Kick and Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots. On the Vita, you can get Gunhouse and Rogue Aces. And as a nice little added bonus, PlayStation will be increasing their cloud storage for PlayStation Plus members from 10 gigabytes to 100 gigabytes.
Which is
awesome.
awesome. That's great.
That's amazing.
I'm surprised they still do free stuff for the Vita. I mean, I guess it doesn't take much. You just kind of say, hey, here you go, you know?
Nah.
It's kind of
might as well, I guess.
It's such a weird system. I loved it. I think it's a wonderful handheld. It just didn't have support.
No, it really didn't, and that was the biggest thing. Especially like third-party support. It just wasn't getting any games, and it just it was a console that I almost bought on a couple different occasions, and I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Oh man, yeah. So before we get into the news, last episode 40. On Tuesday, we announced that we're going to be starting to do this new segment within the Thursday show, which is called the Indie Radar. And the Indie Radar just focuses on indie games that are releasing soon-ish or are on our radar of being just kick-ass indie games that are up and coming and have yet to release. It's a great way to showcase good games that otherwise might not get the great coverage, and it's nice to break away, I guess, sometimes from the AAA news that we generally speak of most often. So this week's Indie Radar game is My Friend Pedro. So the release date for this is Q1 in 2019. Platforms are PC and Nintendo Switch. The dev is Dead Toast Entertainment, and it's being published by Devolver Digital, which is a great publisher. The quote pulled directly from Revolver's listing for the game is, My Friend Pedro is a violent ballet about friendship, imagination, and one-man struggle to obliterate anyone in his path at the behest of a sentient banana. The strategic use of split aiming, slow motion, and the old stylish window breach create one sensational action sequence after another in an explosive battle through the violent underworld. You may recognize the game as it was shown in Devolver's E3 event back in 2018, but we both thought it was just hilarious. I think it's hilarious. The banana in the trailer just cracks me right up, bro. And
I love the trailer for this game. It's just, the game is so simple but charming all at the same time, and the fact that it's all because of a sentient banana is hysterical.
So,
I mean,
if you guys want to see the trailer that we're talking about, you can head on over to our YouTube channel, Diggity Gaming, and the trailer's on our YouTube channel. It's the latest upload. Or I guess not the latest. Well, if you're listening to this, the podcast is up. So it's a upload before. But yeah, it's on our YouTube channel, Diggity Gaming, and we both thought it would totally deserve this week's Indie Radar, and I can't wait to play it. I think it looks so funny.
Some of the craziest things that, like in that trailer, they have him walk up on a frying pan, launch the frying pan up into the air, and shoot and ricochet off of the frying pan. Like, it's insane the things they thought of for this game, and
it's gonna be great.
Oh, it looks so good. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, and I think Devolver Digital is a perfect publisher for this because they totally like to just F around and just have fun and just mess things up in gaming and just be goofy. So I'm super stoked for this. Hey, you got to play a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 3, and so I'm gonna let you have the floor and just kind of go on first impressions. I'm gonna ask you probably a bunch of questions because I haven't had the chance, just between this weather, job, bunch of crap going on. I haven't had the opportunity so far to do it. So the floor is yours, but I'm gonna ask you questions.
I probably won't have a whole lot of answers because I have not gotten to put in too much time yet.
Well, okay.
But I've played about 2 hours so far, and that's what I was able to get last night, and then I'll play it again tonight, and hopefully have a little bit more of a better idea for everybody on Tuesday or on the Tuesday show. But so basically, I'm kind of like a newcomer to the Kingdom Hearts series, sorry. I actually own 1 and 2. I own but I think it's still in the plastic. I just haven't gotten around to it because I bought it.
Don't open that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold on to it.
Yeah.
It was like the pack that they did a couple years ago, so it wasn't anything too crazy. It's probably not worth it. Yeah. But basically, I just kind of wanted to jump in and see what it's all about. I understand a lot of people are very persistent that you should start from number 1, but considering we do a podcast, I kind of had to jump into Kingdom Hearts 3. I didn't really have time to go through the first 2, but I do remember playing a little bit of the first one when I was younger. I mean, right around the time it started out. I also did not have a PlayStation at that time, so it was one of those things that I would play it at friends' houses and things like that, and just I never gathered anything about the story. So I've been watching videos the last couple of days trying to get caught up on what the hell is going on in this game, and I'm still as confused as when I went into it. There's a very convoluted, like, just crazy story behind all that. But I can piece together the basics enough to understand kind of what's going on. And so I started out and kind of jumped into it. The beginning was pretty long because you were talking to me and asking me how the gameplay was, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm still sitting in a cutscene. Like, I haven't made it out of a cutscene yet. This was like 45 minutes into it. I mean, I had played like 5 minutes or something, you know. But most of it was just kind of a story setup. And then after that, I didn't see another cutscene for like an hour, though. I didn't see another cutscene or a full, like, over 5-second type cutscene deal for a full another hour that I played. And so by the end of the night, by the end of the 2 hours, I was actually really getting into it. I was really liking it. I was having fun with it. I was getting the hang of what I was doing and getting used to the little sub menu to switch from a basic attack to like your magic attacks and all that. But I will say the first hour was kind of a slog for me, just because not being a fan of the series necessarily, it was a little bit hard to kind of jump into. But by the time it got rolling, I was really getting into it. I'm excited to go into the Toy Story world. I think that's going to be awesome, especially because I've seen all of the Toy Story movies like 100 times, because that was my oldest son's favorite movie.
Did you? So with the characters, obviously now you realize it's heavily Disney, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I knew that going in, I guess.
Did you know how much, though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I knew how much Disney it was.
So do you think that they kept like the authenticity for what you've been through now? Yeah. Cool. And do you find
absolutely.
Do you find this one, and you said it might be too early because you had said you only play like 2 hours or a little over that. But so there's a couple things I'm seeing online. I actually watched the Achievement Hunter live stream today, and they're hammering away at it for I think like an hour or two. And the problem they were having was the camera was messing up on them hard, or like they do like a super jump or something to go do like a big attack, and the camera would just be way zoomed in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or something. It could have just been that area that they were in.
Yeah, that could be, because I didn't actually run into that issue.
Okay,
I did have a little issue with like the camera while they have like special paths that you can follow, and they kind of like light up, right? And so as I would try to run on those, sometimes the camera would freak out and go elsewhere while I was trying to follow these. But for the most part, it followed pretty well. I didn't run into any issues while I was doing like special attacks or anything.
Right. Cool.
But I think gameplay wise, it feels great, and I think visually it looks incredible. The music is gorgeous. I'm excited to play some more of it tonight. I'm gonna definitely dive into it. This weekend we got to jump into the Anthem demo.
Yes, we do.
So I don't know how much gameplay I'll get into over the weekend, but I'm gonna hopefully have a little bit better opinion by Tuesday. So
yeah, I'm thinking
there we go.
Friday night and Saturday night's gonna be a lot of Anthem.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of Anthem. Cool, man. Thanks for that. Another piece of news, GameStop is apparently no longer pursuing a sale of the company. So GameStop officially had a news release that stated the pursuit has been canceled due to the lack of financing on terms that would be commercially acceptable to prospective acquirer. Which basically means like they got a shit deal, and they decided that they didn't want that shit deal. On January 16th, 2019, GameStop sold its Spring Mobile business for approximately $735 million. These Spring Mobile business locations are kind of interesting. Basically, if you go to an AT&T store now, I think AT&T bought them, but when like AT&T's got redone and stuff like that, these essentially it was like a Spring Mobile within AT&T. Right. All the orange everywhere and all that kind of crap is the key distinguisher in that. But anyways, the company is currently evaluating options of what to do with the income. Some options include paying off outstanding debt, funding share repurchases, reinvesting in core video game and collectibles businesses, to drive growth, or a combination of these options. And the company is also actively seeking out a permanent CEO at this time. You know what they should do? I was thinking about this. I think Monday. I was thinking about it because I went into a GameStop on Monday, and if they can take a GameStop and a box lunch and I guess a little bit of a FYE that we have here, and kind of amalgamate them together, that'd be great. I think the problem with GameStop is it looks like shit on the inside.
Yeah, it does. It's looked the same for years. I mean,
it's just
it
gray,
hasn't changed.
It's just gray, and it's just there's no. I mean, there's a lot of. I always advise go to your local game shop because
absolutely
you're just going to get better customer service, and they're going to go out of their way to help sell you something. But yeah, I mean, GameStops are just like great. Like, I mean, you walk in there and it's like an old school Radio Shack from 99 or early 2000s. You know what I mean, right? Like, I mean, they're one step away from having the board up on the side of the walls with the slits in it, and then they just hang their shit on it. It's absurd. I mean,
just fucking pegboard on the wall.
Well, because they do cheap stuff, right? Where you go, okay, I want to go to the Xbox section. Okay, cool. So there's a cardboard banner above it saying Xbox, and it's green, and the sign that's it. Put some lights in there. Put different flooring down. Make the counters cooler. Make even the employees have I don't know. They just need to make it. Because Box Lunch tomorrow, if Box Lunch decided to sell video games, I bet you a ton of people go buy video games at it. It's just nice to walk into a Box Lunch. It's nice to walk into an FYE. I mean, ThinkGeek stores, I think they're underwhelming because it's just literally let's just buy the smallest. This is what I think their plan is every single time for a ThinkGeek store. Let's find the smallest fucking space available in a mall, and then let's just shove every fucking thing that we possibly could in there.
Yeah.
There's not even enough room for people, dude.
No. The ThinkGeek in our mall is terrible. It's always hotter and shit in there.
Oh my god,
there's a bunch of people in there. It smells bad.
Oh.
There's no rhyme or reason to anything as to where it's at in there. It's just a nightmare. And then our GameStop has literally looked the same for 15 years.
Not even that.
It hasn't changed.
Even the other GameStop we went to. The one where the guy thought you were stealing something, so he had to follow you around forever. That guy, that one.
I mean, we're both pretty sketchy looking individuals.
Oh, yeah,
so.
for sure. But yeah, no, that one smelled, and that one's they're just old. And people are like, well, maybe that's just your Indiana GameStops. I've been to a GameStop in Los Angeles. It looked like shit. I've been to a GameStop in Miami. It looked like shit. I've been to a GameStop in Austin, Texas. Guess what? It looked like shit. And generally, it smelled like shit on the inside of it. And you're not talking about small purchases. You're handing somebody $60, generally speaking, on average.
Yeah.
If you're just going to buy one thing. And if you're buying a console, you're spending $400. And the experience is basically, I mean, the employees are generally nice at a GameStop.
Yeah.
But, the overall environment is just shit. It does not make me want to spend money there at all.
To me, I think the only reason GameStop is still around is because there's no other major
retailer,
major game retailer other than you can go
Walmart's
to Walmart
stepping
or
it up
something
though,
like that.
man. I don't know if you've seen in their gaming section, they've got it segmented now, and then they've also got but it's all colored different in certain sections and stuff, and it's kind of nice.
I guess I mean somebody who. A retailer who pretty much specializes. Yeah. So I think that's the only way they're staying alive. But at the same time, the only reason nobody else can come up in that market is because it's kind of a dying market anyway. So it's this weird.
Nobody wants to touch it.
It's this weird middle ground. Nobody wants to get into it, and nobody has wanted to get into it for a while because the writing's been on the wall. I mean, it was if you were to create a business 5 years ago, you still knew the direction that the market was going. So why would you do that? But at the same time, they're still around because there's such a integral part of gaming, I guess. People just know everybody knows who GameStop or EB Games or whatever.
It's like Blockbuster in a way, right? I mean, when you wanted to rent a movie for the last 20 years, you went to Blockbuster.
Right. And we have a really, really good local game store where we're at, and I try to go there anytime I can. But basically, really, the only time I'll go to a GameStop is for major releases and things like that. Something I'm going to pick up at midnight.
Right.
Other than that, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, dude. I also don't understand from a business perspective why they would have segmented ThinkGeek was a huge website, right? That did tons of e-commerce. And it was cool to have a ThinkGeek store. Why not just put the ThinkGeek store inside of a GameStop? Just start out with a boutique little thing inside of it to create some hype inside of GameStop, get people in there and then purchasing video games and shit. I don't think it really needed its own store because the way that they did the store is so shit. If they took the stuff that they sell on ThinkGeek and they put it into the box lunch way, it would have been wonderful.
Well, there's a pretty big crossover between ThinkGeek and GameStop anyway. I understand they're owned obviously by the same company, but at the same time, you can get the same thing from ThinkGeek or GameStop.
It is true.
And half the time the prices are different.
Yeah.
That's what's fucked up.
It's so bad. Yeah, half the time the shit's in clearance in GameStop, but then it's full price at ThinkGeek.
It's bizarre. I don't understand what they I understand you want to keep kind of more your collectible side of it and just kind of your nerd culture outside of gaming separate. But they don't do that.
They don't do
right.
that. They don't the case of collectibles at a GameStop is it looks like it's from someone's fucking home, and it's just got 4 shelves on it. And depending upon the size and variance of the collectible or character, right? Because if you want to go super nerdy, totally fucking understand. Just decide what you want to be, right? Because you're selling that shit. Yeah, the pops. We paused there because Brody was looking back at the pops for those on the audio podcast. But if you want to be super nerdy and you want to get to that niche market of just gaming, just do all gaming based shit. No one's asking you to put a million other things out there. Just do gaming based shit and do it good and make me feel fucking good when I'm in your store. Don't make me feel like
you just described Diggity podcast to a T.
Absolutely. Don't make me go in there with my wife and I'm trying to look for a fucking game. I just want to buy the new game. I want the physical copy of it. I don't want the digital copy because I want the physical copy because I want to go back to trade it in. And I don't think they even fucking see their own power in that. There's a lot of people out there that just want to buy a game physically, like a Red Dead 2. The other fucking day, me and Brody are playing Red Dead 2. And I had said to him, hey, when I'm done beating Red Dead, I might hold on to it for a little bit longer, but then I'm probably going to trade it in. And then he's like, yeah, I might. He's like, yeah, I would do the same, but I bought it digitally. And then I went, oh, shit, I bought it digitally. My bad. I used an Amazon gift card online because it would have been more expensive to buy it and get it shipped to me rather than buy it digitally. And
I was like, what the hell? That's the other thing for GameStop is they don't really make all that money off of new games. No, most of their revenue is all off of used games. But those days are leaving quickly.
Right.
They don't have much longer at all, and I think that's why they got such a shit offer. I don't think it necessarily even has anything to do with their outstanding debt. I mean, obviously that plays a role into it, but at the same time, if they don't innovate to do something to still keep GameStop around, they're gonna disappear because there's not going to be any reason to keep them around because the direction the gaming industry is going, used games are already a thing of the past. Half of the games that you can buy anymore, you have to have this was probably a trend a few years ago where they had a certain code that you actually had to have to play online. So if you bought a game and it was an online only game and you didn't have this code, you had to go in to the Xbox store or the PlayStation store and purchase this $10 online access pass because they were trying to basically crack down on people buy it, trade it, whatever,
What's crazy to me too is that the Spring Mobile store that they had was so solid. Newer redesigned AT&T stores have that Spring Mobile platform, and they are such a great thing. You walk in, there's no fucking desk. people walk around and they have an iPad with them, and they can take your credit card right there from your iPad. You can even pay with Apple Pay or Google Pay, whatever. And it's all about just product, and all about high-level service. Why not make a GameStop? Picture this, where you walk into it. This is my official resume, too, to become the CEO of it. I don't want to be the fucking CEO of GameStop. You walk into a GameStop, okay? Nice fucking floors. Everything is segmented. You've got different pods. You've got a pod for PlayStation. You've got a pod for Xbox. You've got a pod for Nintendo. And then on the back end is an entire PC area and other accessory area. There's no fucking wire shelves, okay? Metal wire shelves on the fucking walls with like because this is the absurdity of it, right? Here's a Razer Chroma keyboard. It's $100 on the Razer site. Let me just throw that up on a fucking wire shelf and stick $100,
$130.
yeah, and sell it for $115 or $120 with a sticker. If you were to sell that for $115, it was beautifully placed onto a shelf. It didn't have a sticker on it. Then when I rip it off, it looks like fucking herpes on any product that I buy. And then you. I'm sorry. It is. The fucking GameStop stickers are the herpes of the fucking game industry. All the glue sticks to it, and they know it. They fucking know it, and they don't change it, Brody.
My least favorite thing is the fact that they can't be bothered to get a new cover for the outside of a game, so they just take their same shitty little black, white, and red cover, put them on there, and then they just write the name of the game. And you're like,
the worst. Not even that. Why does the sticker have to be that fucking big?
I don't know.
Why? Anyways,
it's annoying, and it always has like 3 different prices on it. It's like old price, new price, pro member price, and you're like, come on, just put the actual price of it.
What would be great though is you walk into a GameStop, everything's like modular, and then you walk in there and so, hey, what are you looking for? Hey, I'm looking for a new game for Xbox One. I heard about Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out. Can you talk to me about that? And so they just talk to you. They're not behind a fucking desk. They just talk to you about it. They say, well, you might like it like this, or you might like it like that, or hey, you should listen to Diggity podcast about it. Or they might say, hey, you need to, hey, you might want to actually for PlayStation because of X, Y, and Z, whatever, right? And then they just scan your fucking card. Because they literally, dude, could go to a model where there's just pieces of cardboard on the fucking wall, okay, with just digital serial codes. And people would still go and they'd still buy it there because they can interact with somebody and talk to somebody, and then upsell them on other stuff like accessories or something like, hey, do you want to check out our new, PC? Like, why are they not pushing PC stuff in a GameStop? I don't understand.
I've seen a few things,
but it's so shit. It's like, here's our Razer mouse. We have one Razer mouse and a keyboard.
Directly in between PlayStation and Xbox, there's a small little, it's literally like a foot wide.
Next to the 3DS section. And it's like, you have to make people feel
it's over there by the used Wii
and
games.
In groupings in a store. You cannot just throw everybody in there with a bunch of plastic cases on the wall on shitty shelves and expect people to pay $60 on average for a game. It's not going to happen. Like, it's just absurd.
Not in this day and age. That time, it had its time, right? But now we are moving on, and I think that GameStop is going to be left behind probably sooner than later.
Perfect company to purchase a GameStop would be a Starbucks. Honest to God, because that's literally what it is. It's Starbucks. The coffee is way overpriced. You fucking know it is, but you can go there, get good Wi-Fi. You can go there, get good Wi-Fi, not be bugged. You're not going to have fucking crazy people come in there like Dunkin' Donuts. All right? And you can just get shit done. And that's it. It's usually quiet, or at least there's like some ambience to it with the music, and it's usually at least like buzzing a little bit with people. You don't feel like you're in just like a cell of silence. They need to create that experience and take something that, build the experience behind it instead of like, well, you want to click a button online and just get a digital download, cool, but why not come in and see what else we offer? Yeah. God, good luck, GameStop. Anyways, hit us with the Super Smash Bros. News.
All right, so Super Smash Bros. Ultimate now has a new patch out, or an update. I guess more. It's version 2.0. Nintendo gave extremely detailed patch notes for each character change that they made, which almost every single character has at least one change. It's way too big of a list for me to go through, so if you want to see that, check it out on Nintendo's website. The patch also added Piranha Plant, so this is actually a little sooner than what we thought. We kind of thought that was coming in February, but this patch is not all sunshine and rainbows.
No.
So the first public service announcement I have for you guys is that users are reporting that the patch did bring at least one major bug. All-Star mode, Classic mode, and Century mode. And I've also seen something about the 100-man battle and things like that. With certain characters are actually corrupting game save data.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So,
not good.
The reported characters are Piranha Plant. I've seen Duck Hunt. I've seen Mii Fighter. And then I'm terrified to even play Smash right now.
Yeah. Same. I was just thinking, like, shit, I hope my Switch did not download that.
But it seems best to avoid at least the Games and More tab until Nintendo has solved it. And if you are a Nintendo Online subscriber, absolutely back up this fucking game right now. Because you're going to lose all your characters, and you're going to go back through it, and you're going to motherfucking everybody, and no. So as soon as we find out when this has been patched, we will put something out on Twitter and on our Instagram. But until then, just be careful. And then our second public service announcement is that if you have entered the code previously to get Piranha Plant and you have just now updated your game, it might not show up, so you might have to go into the eShop and re-download everything. Not everything, sorry, just the Piranha Plant DLC.
Which is super weird.
It is kind of weird. The way this all worked is a little odd. I've seen a lot of people having more issues than I would have imagined, especially with Nintendo. They're usually pretty on top of it, but
craziness.
Here we are.
Hey, apparently Xbox is growing, which I kind of had a hunch anyways, to be honest with you. I feel like there's been a little bit more hype around Xbox.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Towards the tail end. I think that's the perfect time to have a little bit more hype before you're going to announce a new system.
Lead right into that next console.
So apparently Xbox Live grew to 64 million active users last quarter, which was an 8% increase. And active users are all players who have access to Xbox within the last month. That's how they deem that metric. Microsoft Gaming Division revenue grew by 8% to $4.23 billion out of Microsoft's total revenue of $32.5 billion. $8.4 billion of that revenue was net income.
That's fucking crazy.
What? You know what's crazy?
8.4 billion is net revenue. That's insane.
That's a pretty big chunk of Microsoft's total revenue, which is great because I think this new Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella, really sees not that the other ones didn't see the future of Xbox, but I think they always kind of looked at Xbox as like, okay, you guys go have fun. You know, that kind of mentality. And I think he's pretty serious about it now.
Between him, Major Nelson, and Phil Spencer, they got a hell of a team up there that is very visible to the public and that is really...
Yeah.
I think they're just killing it, man. I think they're going to go into this next generation strong as hell.
I think they're probably going to destroy PlayStation, I think, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
With the lineup. Because I think all the purchases from E3 and stuff like that, all these different studios, is just... I used to think that it was all for Game Pass. I think it's all for day one releases on the new Xbox. Just like, and here's 5 fucking games that are sweet. Good luck. So
if you can go right into that next console generation and have some heavy hitting games right off the get go, I mean you're laughing.
Hey,
absolutely.
Xbox Live on this. Would you be upset if there was something where, I mean, let's be honest, Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus, I mean, if you're buying an Xbox, there's no reason why you shouldn't be buying Xbox Live. I mean, you literally cannot, you pretty much cannot play most games without it.
It's pretty standard, especially anymore.
Would you be opposed to them taking Xbox Live and then adding Game Pass into it and then it be a different price, and that's what it is per month moving forward. And it's like, here, you buy this box and you're gonna have because what is it now? It's like what, 10 a month or something like that? Or
yeah. If you were to buy it every month, I think it's $10 a month for Game Pass, and then it's like $60 a month $60 a year for the subscription to Xbox Live.
Be interesting to see if the next one, if they kind of scoop them together. Because I don't think they'll ever do something where it's like, yeah, buy a whole year of Game Pass for $60. It's not going to happen. I think they like that $10 because it changes, right? It's the content that changes month to month to month.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, I could see them going to a monthly model basically for the subscription and Game Pass. I can see them bundling it together, but I don't know if it would be the only way to get Xbox Live. I feel like that would create a lot of backlash. A lot of people that don't want to pay for Game Pass that would now be paying for Game Pass.
Yeah.
Especially when you're basically paying for a service literally just to play your fucking games online, and then increase that from $60 a year. Like, there would be just way, way too much backlash, I think. That would be a very bad move.
Interesting. Cool. Well, hey, man.
I wouldn't care because I'm already kind of paying for them anyway, so, I mean... Yeah. But at the same time, being forced into that is kind of different.
Yeah.
It should be an add-on.
It would be really weird seeing if people will jump ship from the PlayStation to Xbox, because I feel like when you went from like the 360 era and PS3, you kind of had these weird odd years at the end where, you know, obviously online was very key to those systems by the end of their life cycle. But now I feel like it's a pain in the ass to switch. Like, if I wanted to switch from Xbox as my main console to, PlayStation, I feel like it'd be a pain in the ass to me. Obviously my games don't transfer over. You're talking about different billing cycles. I'm paying for, X amount for the whole year. Down to the most minute of details. But I feel like now it's that whole ecosystem premise, right, where people are locked into the shit. I mean, look at PlayStation. You could have PlayStation Plus, you could have PlayStation View and PlayStation Music, and you're fucked. Mm-hmm. That's your whole world of entertainment right there is basically through PlayStation.
Right. Absolutely. It is hard. I haven't switched per se, but I do have both consoles now, and it is kind of a weird transition because, like you said, you're so used to having this catalog of games that you've built over the years, over 10 years now at least. It's just it is weird once you go to PlayStation from Xbox or vice versa, because like I said, you're used to having this back catalog of games that you can always just return to whenever you want, and now you have like the two games you just bought, the game that came with your PlayStation. You're like,
and I guess content matters. Like, people be like, well, it's all about the games that are on the system, but I don't really know, man. Like, I think it's just people grow accustomed to it. They grow accustomed to a PlayStation sitting on their shelf. They grow accustomed to picking up the PlayStation controller, and then every month $10 comes from my bank account for PlayStation Plus or whatever. And
I think it's so natural to for people to develop this sort of brand loyalty as well. I think
that's true. No.
It's such a natural thing for it to happen. Like for me, I've been an Xbox fanboy for forever.
It's like voting. It's like politics.
Yeah. You're either PlayStation or you're Xbox.
Either Democrat or Republican. You can't be both.
And on either side, you hate each other, and then you got PC over there as the fucking Tea Party or something. I don't know. I guess
it's a Switch.
That'd be more Nintendo. Switch, that'd be more Nintendo.
Everyone says, I'm just here to have fun.
And then you got the PC master race that doesn't even care. They say everybody sucks. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's this weird dynamic for sure, but I think especially now that people are so set in their ways of buying either a PlayStation or an Xbox, I think that's going to be the hardest time to transition, especially because you got friends on a certain console, and maybe you didn't develop the brand loyalty, but they did, and I think it's not easy.
I think they're going to be looking for hooks too, anyways. Like right before the consoles are going to die, Xbox is going to release some first party game that just hooks people in, and same with PlayStation, just as a last ditch effort to get anyone from thinking about jumping over to the new system of spending an extra $60 on something or whatever before they're going to leave. Right. It'll be interesting to see. But speaking of that, too, I mean, similar things happening with Steam and the Epic Game Store, and you actually have some news about a game or yeah.
So Epic is kind of becoming infamous at this point in time. I see some love towards them, but also see a lot of hate directed their way. But basically, there's Epic's been kind of taking games from Steam and other places, and we've covered that on Tuesday. And we've been covering it for ever since it was announced, basically, that they've been taking these games, right?
Yeah.
So the newest one on this list is Dauntless. Dauntless is a Monster Hunter-esque free-to-play game that's been in beta for, I believe, a couple years now. And basically has decided to ditch their own patcher, their own launcher, whatever you want to call it, in favor of joining up with Epic. So now Dauntless is going to go to the Epic Game Store free to play. And the weird part about this, though, is all of your Dauntless accounts that you have created and have used to log into this game for years now are migrating to the new platform, and you have to change it over to an Epic Games account in order to continue to play the game.
Son of a bitch. World domination.
Yeah.
Tim Sweeney, world domination. This is it.
All progress will carry over, and supposedly all purchases that you may have bought, even though it is free to play, it's the normal free to play model. There's microtransactions, right? That will all transfer over, but in order to continue to play this game, you have to create an Epic account, you have to go into the Epic Game Store, and you have to play it through their launcher. There is no set in stone date for this, but it will begin sometime not hopefully, but they hope soon this year. And
so you just fucking force people to give them your fucking data, and you force them to play their game on their fucking platform that they play a shit ton out of because it's free to play. And now they're going to buy a bunch of games in Epic Game Store, hopefully. Fuck, man.
Dude, when the Epic Game Store was first in... I imagine it's a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, it had to be enough...
At the end of the day. It's Tencent.
Yeah.
That's paying the fucking bills for that.
Right. And, initially... the Epic Game Store sounded too good to be true, and come to find out, it kind of is. There's a lot of issues.
How do you do this though without being evil? That's my question. Because everyone's complaining about it, and I get it. I understand. I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just saying, how do you really do this without coming off as some sort of an asshole?
But for me, if I can, I always go through Humble Bundle or GOG or something like that if I can. But the thing is, if you buy something through Humble Bundle, most of your codes are still coming from Steam. So it's like, I mean, but at least then, some of what you spent goes towards charity type of thing. Like that, I like, and I think those companies are large as well. I mean,
Humble Bundle's
if you
owned
play
by
on
IGN.
PC, if you play on PC, Humble Bundle is a normal thing. Like everybody knows about it. And then GOG, GOG.com is I think pretty well known as well.
DRM free. It's
which is amazing. I mean that you have to do things like that to set yourself apart from Steam without being evil.
I guess their thing is they did the 10% less for royalty. Like, I mean, they're making
That's
more.
True,
so
but they also have so many issues within the store alone.
What are they having right now?
Let me find the article here real quick.
Okay, well, you're doing that. I totally think that Epic Games is going to not give a shit and continue doing this, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and we're going to be in this like bastardized state of like, my games are on Steam, and then half of my games are on Epic Game Store. Okay, great. And then the only one that suffers in that is really the dev. Like, it's not, I mean, is it annoying to me at the end of the day? Yes, it is, because, Dauntless is on Epic Game Store, but, Game XYZ is on Steam. But, it just keeps me from not playing Dauntless as much. I mean, you got to think that Dauntless is going to go to this. And the amount of people that play Steam and you're playing a game, like let's say, my friend Pedro's out. You're playing that game, and then it's on Steam. And normally Dauntless would be underneath there on the left-hand side too. And you'd be like, oh shit, yeah, hey, I was gonna go to bed, but now I'm gonna play some Dauntless, right? And play that.
Right.
And maybe we'd have bought some shit. Now it's gonna be, I'm gonna play my friend Pedro on Steam, and then okay, cool. Oh, never mind. Just gonna go to bed now. Just not gonna play Dauntless. Right. Because don't give a shit. And the same goes for Epic Games to Steam.
Steam users are review bombing Metro games after the announcement with the Epic Games Store.
Oh my god! See, but that's not cool.
No, that's not cool at all.
That's not right.
That is shitty.
What
and
I don't
vindictive.
understand by that is these are the same Steam users that bombed the shit out of Valve for the PR release that Steam did and all the other things that Steam's done. Most recently in the last couple months. And then the moment now where another company's coming in that is trying, I guess, to take better steps towards the dev in some regards, now they want to shit bomb on them. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's really fucking weird.
I'm trying to scroll through this real quick so I can
That is the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's like being an Apple nerd and like everyone's bitching at Apple right now about like the new MacBooks and all this stuff because they're not powerful enough, for the Mac Pro because they haven't come out with one in a long time, and people need a fucking new Mac Pro to do some pretty highly extensive graphic design and video editing. And that's like complaining to them, and then Google coming out and saying, hey, we're going to make our own line of products for this, and then shitting on Google for the same thing that you just shit on Apple about. But now they have your solution. I don't understand that at all. Wow. Yeah. Holy shit. That's crazy. Are the review bombs really affecting Dauntless?
No, it's not for Dauntless. It's for Metro Exodus.
Oh, Metro.
The Metro series. Yeah.
Is it really affecting it?
I mean, now that they're not on the Steam store, probably not. But they are review bombing it. I don't know if they created Epic accounts just to review bomb it on there or what.
Wow.
But I think generally with those larger games like Metro Exodus, like review bombs are pretty obvious to see through. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, if you stay up on it, right? It fucks it up in the algorithm.
Featured as much.
That's true. I mean,
but a big game like that
on the
also,
Epic Storm, they can do whatever the hell they want.
Exactly.
Epic can go in and put it right into the limelight, but.
What issues you got for the Epic Game Store? You found it?
I was looking for trying to find a quick list here, and it's
not a quick list.
No, it's not.
Do you remember some things that were on it?
I know that the actual launcher in the store itself is not very great. It runs like shit. It's just real slow. It doesn't move quickly.
Right.
Because I actually have it. I've heard reports of it being intrusive. And kind of getting into places it doesn't need to be type of deal.
Ooh.
I've heard...
Like from a data perspective?
Yeah. Also, you cannot play anything...
Isn't Tencent a Chinese company?
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other issue is that you can't play anything offline. Supposedly they're looking into that, but as it stands now, you can't play anything offline.
What do you mean they're fucking looking into it? That's not...
Yeah,
that's not like a bug. That's a fucking designed it for that.
I don't fucking work for them. All right,
look into that. Don't worry about that. Yeah, we'll just fucking look into that. Don't worry.
Yeah,
about
we'll just kind of look at it.
Hey, I see you've got a gun.
Just look at it.
I see you've got a gun there in your pocket. Yeah, let me look into that real quick.
Hang on.
Just
hold
give
on.
Me a minute. Yeah, well, there's a knife too. Well, let me look into that too. Jeez, man. All right.
I think the way they're going about being vultures in this market and trying to steal stuff is just leaving a bad taste in people's mouth. I think they're creating bad blood early on, even though they're just trying to establish themselves. And there's other issues like, the security and things like that. I think there's too many things that are just kind of not overly sketchy, but they're sketchy enough. And
sketchy vibes,
they're
man.
happening
Little
quickly
vibes,
enough.
sketchiness.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not right.
So that's where we're at.
Hey, a happy story to end this out before we leave. A new N64 game may be just right around the corner. So a game titled Dragon Sword was in development back in 1997 to 1998, but it never made it to the general public. And thanks to an anonymous collector, the unfinished game was released in 2010. Pico Interactive, a company that has been somewhat known for reviving lost or abandoned games, bought the rights and source code of the game, and they may be looking to finish the game and release the long-lost Dragon Sword. Kind of neat.
I thought that was a cool story to kind of end out on.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I mean, I'm not particularly going to go out and buy an N64 game, especially an old, beat 'em up. But
they did this with
hack and slash game, I guess.
Could be totally fucking wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure they did it. There was a game called Cheetah Man that was on NES or SNES, and Cheetah Man 2 was created, and the same similar thing. It was like it was not a completed game or whatever, and then it was crowdfunded or something like that and brought back. But it was pretty nuts because those things are fucking expensive to buy now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like they're super expensive.
I think that Pico Interactive, they did one not too terribly long ago that was a crowdfunded game. I believe it was called 40 Wisps or something like that. I meant to throw it in that in that paragraph, but I forgot. But no, I think this is cool. I think it's, why not? If nothing else, I mean, people are going to buy it for not necessarily nostalgia because the game never actually came out, but just kind of as a collector standpoint. And
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey man, I'm going to go get myself an N64. Just like I'm going to go get myself a whole smorgasbord of audiobooks because today's podcast was brought to you by Audible. That's right. You can get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/diggity. You get access to over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle, or your MP3 player. So head on over to audibletrial.com/diggity to get your free audiobook download and free 30-day trial. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Diggity Gaming. And find me on Xbox One. My gamer tag is Maple Jeff, and Brody's, yours is
Luscious Brody.
Ooh, get you some. Leave us a review. Helps us out a ton. Leave us comments on YouTube videos. Also helps out a ton on the iTunes side of things for reviews. Helps us get more exposure on iTunes and other podcast platforms, which helps out greatly. And more importantly, honestly, you can write a comment. And if your comment has some good feedback, we'd love to hear it because we always want to make the show better. And until next time, guys, we will see you for the Tuesday show. See ya.